Hey, Special Olympics. It's Dr. Anne Marie Taylor here, coming to give you a couple pointers and working with students that may have behavior issues or past trauma or that just like control and attention. So when you're working with students, whether it's in a classroom or on a field, kids misbehave for three main reasons. Number one is avoidance, number two is attention, and number three is control. And there are some proven strategies to use when you're working with students like this. And I'll be honest with you, it even works for adults. So let's dive in. The first one I want to talk about is norms. When you think of norms, you think of expectations, something that you might expect from one another. What's a norm, for example, when you're at a Clemson-Carolina football game? Well, the norm there is to fight for your team, get loud, be excited. But a norm when you go to church with your grandmother is very different. What I'm suggesting is that we create norms with the students and the athletes that we serve. What do they expect from me and what do I expect from them? I'm encouraging you to come up with a set of norms that are simple and written in a very positive way that you can address not just on the first day of practice or on the first day of class, but every single day after that. Norms are essential so we know what to expect from one another. And when you're talking about students that really need attention and control, they need a voice, they need to say something, norms, when you establish it with them, allow them that voice. It allows them to be included and to be respected and honored. So a norm, for example, would be one person talking at a time. And when you're teaching or on the field, you can say, I love, Anne Marie, I love the way you're following our norm of respecting one another because you're only talking one person at a time. You really want to highlight those norms. And remember, they're flexible. You talk about them as much on the first day of practice or on the first day of school as you do every other day in that year. Norms are essential to keep kids in line, but also to keep us adults in line too. So start with norms. The second thing I want to talk about is what's working, what's not working. This is a strategy you can use all the time. Basically, what you're saying is what you say and what you think matters. And I'm going to change what I do so that you hear yourself in me and you also know I'm respecting you. What's working and what's not working allows the students or the athletes to have a buy-in and a say. It gives them the control they really want. And so what I would suggest is post that maybe in your room or on the field. Post a what's working, what's not, what questions do you have poster, and have the kids provide feedback to you. It really changes the game. They understand that you hear their hearts and they feel included and a part of the solution. And then when I start the day or the class or the practice, I go to my poster and say, here's what you said worked yesterday. Here's what you didn't like. And let me tell you how I'm going to try to change it to meet your needs. Next is praise. Now, we all know that praise makes us all feel really wonderful. But praise is especially important when we're talking about students that learn differently or adults that learn differently. Praise is important. You want to find the things that they do really well, their sparkle, their shine, and really honor and celebrate them. And it needs to be very specific. Instead of you're doing a good job, say, I love the way you're sitting up straight and really listening to the speaker. You want to be as specific as possible. It needs to be immediate and it needs to be ongoing. So don't forget praise. And last but not least is one of my favorites called less voice. Your voice should be primarily for praise and instruction. If you are going to call out someone and try to change their behavior, you want to do it in private as much as possible. People need to feel valued. And when you listen to them and hear them and respect them, whether they give you respect back or not, it's really much more healthy for the relationship. Okay, so we talked about norms. We talked about what's working, what's not working. We talked about praise. And lastly, we talked about less voice. I hope these strategies helped a little bit. And if you need any other support, you know you can count on Special Olympics of South Carolina. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.